Right, I'm about to say something that's gonna hurt a few feelings in the productivity space. If you've been using a tool for less than 90 days, you don't have a verdict, you have a vibe. You have a mood. You have a mild inconvenience. And if you keep tool hopping, you are not practicing discernment. You're practicing avoidance. Let's talk about it. Hello, my friend. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are not, welcome back to my channel. Today, we are talking about the 90-day rule and how it can keep you from hopping from tool to tool to tool, actually build a system that sticks.
If you have ever done this, I need you to raise your hand. In your car, on your walk, in your kitchen, wherever. You download a new tool, you obsessively set it up, you color code it, you build the dashboard, you name the dashboard, you make a second dashboard because the first one was not spiritually aligned, you use it twice and then you abandon it. And the verdict is, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for my brain. But what actually happened is you got a dopamine hit from the setup, instead of building the boring part that actually makes you unstoppable. Because here is the truth. The tool is rarely the blocker, the system layer is. Today, we're going to be talking about tool hopping, and I want to start by talking about why tool hopping happens. And let's name it kindly but directly. When I say tool hopping, I am referring to the fact that we tend to jump from one tool to the next, to the next, to the next, thinking it is going to fix our problem. We go from Asana to ClickUp to Trello to Notion, and we think that is ultimately going to be the fix. And y'all know me, I love Notion. But tool hopping usually happens for one of four reasons, or maybe a combination of the four. First, anxiety relief via novelty. A new tool, whenever you start in a new tool or a new system, it feels like a fresh start. It feels like redemption. It feels like this time I'll be consistent, right? And we get an injection of novelty and some dopamine from that. The second reason, you are avoiding the real boring system work. The part where you decide what you're tracking, what you're doing daily, and what done looks like. The part where you're taking something from a tool to a system. Now, the third thing is perfectionism. The quote, I need the perfect setup first spiral, which is just fear wearing a cute outfit. I see this a lot with Notion. People are like, well, I have to do this first and this first and this first. Oh my God, no, you do not. Ellen, my system doesn't look like yours. Well, it shouldn't. I've been in Notion for 5 years. I see that perfectionism a lot. People saying, well, I don't know if I'm using the system right. That perfectionism keeps us stuck and keeps us from actually being able to get the functionality out of our system. And then the fourth piece, identity. I'm just not consistent. I'm just not disciplined. I just can't stick with things. So if you just heard yourself somewhere in that list, good. That's the whole point. But here's what I need you to hear before we go any further. None of those four things mean you're broken. And I know you know that, but sometimes our emotional brain can kick in and just convince us of shit that's not true. What those things mean is you skipped the part that nobody talks about. The boring, unsexy, no dopamine hit part where the tool becomes a system. Because you don't actually have a consistency problem. It's not that this system just doesn't work for you. You have a process gap, and that is fixable, okay? So today what we're gonna be talking about is the 90-day rule. And I wanna start by talking about what it actually means. Because the goal with all of this is not loyalty to a tool. I'm not asking you to marry Notion or Asana or ClickUp or whatever app is currently trying to seduce you on TikTok. The goal is a fair test. And that's where the 90-day rule comes into play. 90 days is long enough for you to actually build a process, actually run the ritual, and actually collect data. And then you can decide like a CEO, not like someone making decisions from a mood swing. Okay, so let's break this out into phases. What does the 90-day test actually look like when it comes to testing a new tool like Notion? Phase 1, weeks 1 through 2, we want to capture and we want to make it visible, okay? Your job in the first 2 weeks is not to build an empire and build every single aspect of your new system in your new tool. Your job is to capture reality. Pick one home base, not 5. This is something that we talked about last week in the where is this tax. This isn't about, oh, I'll capture it in my notes app and then I'm going to process it later. No, we want one system. And then you want to build 1, maybe 2 views that you're going to actually use, not a dashboard that looks like NASA, a view that you're going to open when your brain is tired. Okay. We want to strip out the fancy features. This is not the season for widgets. This is the season for simplicity and for reps. I'm going to actually use a recent client of mine as an example. Shout out to my girl, Kelsey. We posted all of the stories last week as I'm recording this. We've recently recently been building out the back-end systems for a organization that is very close to my heart, Cougs First. They are the WSU Alumni Business Network for people who are graduates and alumni of my alma mater, Washington State University. And we spent last week building out her systems, but I'm using her as an example of this phase one here because I think she did this very, very well. Yes, she hired me because she realized there were aspects of her systems that just weren't as efficient as she wanted to be, weren't as streamlined, that she wasn't using Notion to its full potential. But she started in the tool by building out systems that weren't fancy, weren't optimized per se, but they worked. They put the information where she needed, and they had baseline functionality that really met her needs. Okay. That is a textbook example. Okay. So if your home base is in Notion, this phase one that I'm talking about here, this might look like maybe a single list called inbox where everything goes. If you've ever heard me talk about this inside of my Notion systems, this is my quick capture page. And yes, my quick capture page currently has a lot of shit in it, but it didn't always. It really just started off with, honestly, these two pieces here at the top, a place to do task capture and notes capture. And that is it. Simple, straightforward, met my needs. That is really what we need to start with. So maybe that is your home base. You have that inbox page where everything goes, tasks, ideas, client notes, content hooks, random thoughts, and they all go in one place. Okay. Then maybe you have a view called today that only shows what you're actually working on that day. And again, this doesn't have to be crazy aesthetic. You can quite literally and quite simply just pull up a new page in Notion, link it to your tasks database, and then quite literally go in and filter the due date by things that are due today. Simple as that. Again, it's not about aesthetics, it's about clarity. So that's phase one of this 90-day rule. Phase two might be weeks 3 to 6. And this is all about the process and the ritual, because now we're adding in the systems layer. If you've heard me talk about this before, you've heard me talk about the fact that there's actually 4 parts to a system. A system involves the tool, so your Notion, your Asana, your ClickUp, whatever, but it also is the process, the ritual, and the outcome that using that tool gives you. So the process means you define what happens once you capture something, what happens once you write something down. The ritual means you do that thing consistently enough for it to become automatic. I've said this before and I'll say it again. When I first started using Notion, I was a straight up sticky note wrangler. I had piles of sticky notes all over my desk. And my ritual became at the end of every single day, I would take my pile of sticky notes and input it into my Notion quick capture system. That was the ritual. And then eventually what started to happen is instead of writing stuff down on the sticky note first, it would make its way straight into the Notion system. So that ritual becomes a new behavior, it becomes a new habit. The simplest version of this might look like every task needs to be a next action. So verb plus object, not website, not marketing, not client. We're talking draft website home section, write client follow-up email, record 20-minute YouTube outline, then add a daily 2-minute check. 2 minutes, not an hour-long planning session that becomes a reason to never start things. Just what am I doing today? What's the one thing that would make today a win? And then from there, layer in the weekly reset. The weekly reset, I've talked about so much recently. You can find the full details of my weekly reset on YouTube. And we just added an accountability call into the VIP tier of my membership so that you have a space to do this with your peers inside of the VIP tier. The weekly reset is your film room. It's where you review what happened without shame, non-judgmental and objective. We step into scientist mode. You fix the broken plays and you don't make it mean you're a failure, because ultimately champions prioritize reps over optics. That is what this is about. It's not how it looks. It's about how it feels and getting those reps in until it becomes second nature. So that is phase 2. We're adding in the systems, we're adding in the process. And again, it starts with having that process and that ritual for capturing things, making sure you are drafting things in a way that is simple and actionable, doing that daily 2-minute check-in so that you know exactly what you're working on that day, and then layering in the weekly reset from there so that you can review the tape and make adjustments as needed. Then we get to phase 3, and this is the last chunk of the 90 days. Phase 3 is all about constraints and refinement, because by now you have data. By now, it's been a month and a half, 2 months inside of your systems. You have that data, now we get to refine, okay? What we're gonna do in this step is you're gonna prune what you're not using. We're gonna reduce steps. We're gonna decide what gets archived. This is where your system starts feeling like it fits you. Again, I'm gonna reference my client that I worked with this past week, because when we were going through her systems, we found redundancies. We found pages she wasn't using, and guess what we did? We cleaned it up. We made it more streamlined, and the peace that she felt by the end of the day, like, I can't wait to get a testimonial from her. We've got part 2 of her build coming up this week. I can't wait. So that is what the 90-day rule looks like. But I do want to talk in this about what are some signs that it actually is the tool that's the problem. So here are the signs that you want to look for. Firstly, is it missing required features to your workflow? If there are things that you fundamentally don't have access to that you need access to, it very well might be the tool you are using. Second, the retrieval and search is unreliable. Again, something I love about Notion is it has a really, really fantastic search feature. So I can go in here and I can search whatever I want. It also has really great recall of, like, what are some of the recent things that you've used in your system. So that is a really, really helpful feature for us to have, because it makes that retrieval and search much more reliable. We also want to make sure mobile capture is not painful. If mobile capture is painful, it's going to create problems, especially if you're somebody who is not always working from your computer. And trust me when I say I have a very dialed in setup at home in my home office, but I still need to be able to use things on the go because I'm not always working here. And last week was a great example. I was at my friend's house dog sitting last week. So it has to be mobile friendly. You cannot reduce friction if fundamentally you are in a place of, I will not use this. If you've given it a real test and the friction stays high, you're not a baby, you're being strategic. So I'm not saying never switch tools, but I do think sometimes we switch tools too frequently and we're not giving ourselves the time, the opportunity to learn the tool, to get used to the tool, and to make the tool work for us. Now, signs it is not the tool ultimately comes back to those 4 pieces I talked about before, because I would actually argue that most of the time it's not the tool. It's more so the fact that you have no ritual, you have no clear process, and you have no defined outcome. You keep rebuilding instead of running the same flow over and over and over again. You're basically using setup as a substitute for training. And what I mean when I say that is, if you constantly keep changing your training plan, that training plan's never going to have an opportunity to stick. Right? We have to actually do the training plan, engage with the nutrition program, like do the thing. We have to do the actions to see if it's going to benefit us. If we give it a week or 2 or even a month and then we're just like, this isn't working, and then we switch up the training plan again, it's the same thing here. That's the exact same thing as tool hopping. Okay? And I say that with love because I've done it too. But we are done here pretending that the new app is the breakthrough. So here's the rule. Commit for 90 days. Collect data, and then decide. If you want to play at a higher level, you have to stop making decisions from a highlight reel. You have to stop making decisions impulsively and start coaching yourself from game film. Because your system is not supposed to impress the internet. And frankly, good systems are not things that you are going to have fully set up and be a professional at using after 5 days. I have heard way too many people who start to use Notion and they give themselves a week, or if they've given themselves a month, when they really start to get honest with themselves, they haven't actually put in that much consistent effort into using the system. They expect to duplicate the template into their Notion system and have that magically fix everything. That's not necessarily how it works. The system isn't going to impress the internet, and it sure as shit isn't going to be something that's just going to be the magic pill that's going to take effect in less than a week. If it's supposed to hold your life and hold your business and literally hold every ambition, passion, project, goal that you have, that's asking a lot of your system, and we need to give it time to click into place and for it to start to work on us.
And with that, that is it. That is all I've got for you today. If you liked today's video, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, some of the best places to continue getting support from me are in the description below. Join my email list, the Sunday CEO Diaries. And if you really want to dive into your systems, join my school community at coachellen.com/community. Links are down below. That is the best space for you to be in if you really want to build out your Notion systems. We do a weekly Notion tip of the week, and I'd love to see you there. But with that, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.